being blind is, as Helen Keller says, is not a disability, but a perception of life, you know.
You walk down the stairs. The ramp is right next to the stairs.
Oh, why
Step
don't
down.
you take the ramp?
You want to walk down the ramp? No, you cannot walk down the
Why?
ramp, Mom. Trust me, step down. It's a narrow-ass ramp.
How you perceive life as a blind woman is something I learn every day. And I learn to adapt to my blindness. No,
Okay, Seth, where your stickers is flat. Okay.
We have 4 children. The eldest one is Jasmine.
When she was about 14 or 15, she keeps on tripping. I mean, when she walks, and if somebody is lying on the floor, she will trip and fall down.
I actually love this bit so much. What? I don't know, it's beautiful.
We took her to see an eye specialist, and we got very, very bad news.
We met when we were 17 years old. I was organizing a Christmas party for old folks. And so when she walked into the room, when I first laid eyes on her, you know, I was absolutely smitten.
It's Rangito too.
Is it right in the middle or it's one
not,
corner?
It's offsetted to the right. You know,
More
so
towards this, the left?
probably about 3 o'clock.
Oh, 3 o'clock.
Often when I bring back friends to home and whatnot, and my mom would be cooking, and when they come greet each other, and my mom would say, "Oh, sorry, I'm blind," you know, they'll be like, "What?" they'll say something along the lines of, "Excuse me, like, on which eye?" You know, like they wouldn't think that she's fully impaired on both eyes. You know, she's never ever use her sight as an excuse to not being able to do anything.
I was brought up in a convent school by an Irish nun, and I was so impressed by her life, and I feel that she has impacted my life a lot. And as how do we come to New Zealand? Like at that time, back in Malaysia, they closed down the Christian school, or the missionary school as they call it. And I say that in New Zealand, they still have the missionary school. I wanted my children to come here to learn, not with their head, but with their heart. That is more important. I went to the Malaysian blind school, and one day I still remember, the bell rang and I had to rush to the class. As I was rushing, going forward, I had a head-on collision with my principal, and he's equally blind. So both of us had a head-on collision, and we fell to the ground, and all our bags were scattered, and we were crawling, hitting one another forward, backwards,
When we were courting, Jasmine told me that she has a degenerative eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa. And she told me that she might become blind, at a later age.
So this is a putukawa tree, is it?
It's a putukawa tree.
So my blindness was expected to be the later state of my age, you see, like 50, 60, but being robbed of your eyesight at the age of 30 was very painful because, you have a family, you have 3 children, and you're going to do something about a career, and suddenly you just fall flat. After 6 weeks into my pregnancy, I felt that this pregnancy was so much different from the earlier 2. The earlier 2, I was still sighted. I still had useful vision. But when came the 3rd one, I could feel that my vision was blurring very fast and I couldn't focus. And then after that, I keep on having fainting spells.
The cardiologist
that was attending to Jasmine was very firm, and so was the eye doctor who was based in Singapore then. And they were very unequivocal in what they said to us. And basically they told her that if you want to retain your sight, you will have to abort your child.
So my gynecologist say, whatever decision you're going to make is a sad and bad one, you know. He was talking about quality of life, you know, that since I've already given James a son and a daughter and a son, I don't need this third child. And he says that what good a blind mother you are to the family if you become blind, you know.
Zoo and Thursday. One map. 1926.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Do you know who I am?
Yes, Jasmine.
How are
Where
you,
now?
Mr. Wong? Long time
Where
no
are
hear.
you?
I'm back from New Zealand.
Malaysia or New Zealand?
I'm back from New Zealand. I'm back in Malaysia.
Oh,
Ah,
okay.
so I was just wondering whether I can come by to see you this Tuesday.
You need to scan, right? Okay. Come. That's the main. That's the main.
Madam Jasmine is here.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Wong.
Hello.
Hello. How's my good headmaster?
Hello. How are
Okay,
you?
come.
Good.
Karen.
Good to see you.
You can show Karen around.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
sure.
talk. Yeah.
Okay.
You walk first so I don't have another head-on collision.
This one is my cubicle.
Oh.
Very untidy one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Little.
Ah.
This
Big
is
enough for Mr. Wong to go through.
What food?
all the production is done here. We have all computers coming.
Oh, okay. So,
Computers
okay.
here, but today
So
it's not running.
Yeah.
Let me find and see. I can find some books for you to have.
Yeah. Then you want to test my reading skill, eh?
Okay, we have some braille calendars here.
Oh.
This is Malay. They make it very tidy, you know. So I'm very difficult to find stuff. Okay, this is the English. Okay, you can have this. Come. This is English braille calendar.
Oh, okay. So neat and nice. Huh? I thought it would be big and bulky.
No, very small one. Okay.
Ah,
So I met Jasmine maybe about many years ago. She just become blind. She came to the training center for some training, and now she's doing well.
So I went to the Malaysian blind school. So when we went there on the first day, I was so directionless, you know, I didn't know what to do. because I wasn't used to blind cane, but the teacher brought me to the classroom, and there were a few of my students, and we was like going to kindergarten, first day at kindergarten. All of us sat down and all of us were crying. We kind of like dwelt in self-pity, and one cried and the other cried, and it was like a whole class of adult crying. I still remember the first day at school. I had my white cane in my hand, and I was holding on to James, and Cikgu said, "Let go of your husband's hand." And only that point of time it dawns on me, I cried because he's walking in the sighted world, and I know from that moment when I let go my hand, from James, I knew that I have to deal with my life in the blind world. Again, just now I was asking you, how do you pour the water? When you're in public, you allow people to pour water because you don't want to make a fool out of yourself. Isn't it?
Sometimes we have to have some ideas to make sure that we don't do some silly things and make a laughing stock of ourselves. So we have to be always, we have to try our best to be at the best. My mother tells me that I could see, but I cannot remember. As far as I can remember, I'm blind. So I was blind since birth. I like to tell people that. And from the very young age of 5, I went from Kuala Lumpur to Penang to St. Nicholas School for the Blind.
I mean, for Mr. Wong, you don't know what red color or green color is like, or what a tree looks, the color of a tree looks like, the shades and everything, right? Because you see, whereas for me, you think, till today, I must confess, I do still feel at times sad, at times like, happy moments in your family or something, your children or your family is looking at something and say, oh, it's so beautiful, and your heart is, I wish I can see it, again. I feel I missed out something in life, again.
As for me, because I was already blind, as far as I can remember, but that doesn't mean that life is always easy. Our life is full of challenges, like others.
Of course, when I first became blind, there was always a stage of denial and acceptance. Denial, you keep on thinking that, oh, I might get my eyesight one day. I might get my eyesight through medical, And then there's another time you feel down because, you're living in a different world from what you used to live in the past. And you feel so helpless.
You have to accept the situation. And then when you accept the situation, that is where we can actually train you.
Once I accepted my blindness and let go of my visioned life, the life that I had visioned, once I accepted that and I changed my lifestyle and my whole mentality about the hope of seeing again, then it's easier for me to move on in life.
It takes time, but equally, those who become blind later part in their life, they also can make it and they can come up from the situation.
I slipped into depression. I was just so frightened of life. And of course, great support, like Karen, she would call me all the way from Malaysia, Have you any students who contemplated suicide?
Sad to say, yes, but that shouldn't be your option. There are enough help in the society, so do not fear. Do not fear the darkness of being blind, but there will always be light. So just come out, go for training, get some rehabilitation, and get support from your friends and family, and you will be able to make it.
Yeah, you know what's my specialty, Mr. Wong?
What?
Huh?
Telling stories?
No lah. Better. I'll walk straight into the men's toilet.
To me, it's not a big issue because even if I walk into a ladies' toilet, I can't see anything, so you don't have to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Yes, but they can't. They don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jasmine is the first blind person I ever met, and I really can't imagine being blind. You know, I always tell my friends, I say, if I have a choice and I have to lose a faculty, I'd rather lose my hearing than losing my sight.
I beg to differ. I'd rather lose my eyesight than my hearing because I like to talk. You know, communication is so important. I'm such a social animal. If I don't talk for one day, I think I'll die.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think? Which faculty would you?
I think I cannot fault Karen for thinking like that.
Yeah.
Many people think that being blind is the worst thing to happen on earth.
Yeah.
But blind people can actually very easily being included in the society. As long as you know how to do a sighted guide technique, you can actually already go out. So even blind people in any remote areas, in villages and all that, development might come later on in life, but your friends can always bring you out.
I go out very often with Jasmine for lunch, and whenever we are in the shopping malls, we actually find very surprised stares and looks, you know, from people who actually see us together. Because we are always chatting, we are always laughing, you know, and the looks from these people actually tends to tell me that they're surprised. What is this blind lady doing out? And you know, maybe they are even surprised why we are so happy, you know, why is she so happy, laughing and very, very happily chatting with me, you see.
We need to go out. We need to be seen. Once society see us more often, then they will accept us, and they will think that this is quite normal and not so surprising. The stares you got is because we don't go out enough. So I always encourage my friends, go out, go out, go out. Don't stay at home. Society needs to see you.
So friends are sometimes the one who pull you out from your closet, so to speak, and bring you back to the world again.
You know, it's not an easy decision, you know, to sacrifice your sight for the rest of your life. But you know, for my mum, it was something that she was willing to do.
I mean, going back to New Zealand already takes 10 days, and then going to Sydney. Probably Sydney also will be a lightning trip. I don't this you know. Yeah. And she works on Saturday also. You know again.
We're talking about when? You're talking
June
about? Oh, my grad. Oh.
Unless you change your graduation to November.
Which one? Essential Park. Yeah.
You know, barang-barang.
Yeah. But maybe it's good lah. Maybe it's good. I don't want them to come. I guess I always knew, but at the same time, you know, just because of who she is, I was, you know, always a little bit oblivious to that. You know, I always forget to myself sometimes that, oh wait, she can't see. You know, just because, you know, she's never ever, you know, used her sight as an excuse to not being able to do anything.
So I had a really normal upbringing. The issue of my mother being blind, it was never an issue. It was just something that we kind of just dealt with, and it was just a part of our lives.
After Jasmine got blind, it's a period of adjustment and readjustment for us in many ways. And we had to rearrange our household so that Jasmine knew exactly where things were. And with the children running around, it was even more important that you know, the obstacles that could be created in them leaving mess behind after they play things, we had to avoid all that. So little adjustments in life or things like that made a lot of difference for all of us, especially for Jasmine. And I noticed over the years, as she lost her sight, she developed other senses.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you took the wrong turning. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, I think
How do
you
you know?
overshot. You overshot.
Yeah, I've got to take the wheel out.
You better
Yeah.
concentrate. Despite me losing my eyesight, I'm still have the hands and leg for Jesus, you know.
Cháu xanh à. Hô mô. Cháu xanh.
Macam Indonesia tak kena bintanya.
Tao cảm hay chăm mày à? Tao xem cả hai em đi chăm bố. Đi tao cũng chăm bố. Bố chơi bảo không? Đi xem cả hai em đi chăm bố. Đi tao cũng chăm bố. Bố chơi.
Tụi anh khoan này bia, lu quậy lắng, lu quậy
chú. Quậy lắng là cái gì cái xem nó cái gì cũng.
So he felt when he got this afflicted with this disease, he felt that it was, bad. A bad stroke of luck, on his life, He doesn't blame anybody. He was sad. He is more of a severe case, is it? Oh, okay. He was given away, so he didn't even know he had that disease. So she vaguely remembers she had it in the teens, but she was very fortunate because when she had this in her teens, it was just red sore and then it comes and goes, and the doctor says, it's leprosy, and her reaction is that she didn't read too much about it, worry too much about it. She's not afraid of death or the disfigured,
伊叫我讲，这两个就太远丢去，手才会水，无我手真胖无安尼款咯。
哦，你讲咩啊？讲嘛？
当中底水。
刮啊了啊？
无啦，刮这两个。
这个加这个。
後邊兩個。
這個後尾攞你刮下架，你穿晒你。哦。
伊講無你個手後你會佫翹起來。
Yeah, but why should they cut unnecessarily?
Then she will look nice so that her fingers will be even. The doctors wanted her to remove, asking her to remove, so that her fingers will look nice.
So he was a grass cutter, and every month he takes home a salary of 60 ringgit, which is 60 ringgit per month. So but the food is provided by the government, so he earns an extra income of 60 ringgit per month. So uncle auntie 歡喜啦。
伊個當水曬。
auntie is. Oh, and auntie is she does washing of clothes. She goes from house to house to collect laundry, and she bring back and wash for them. She said that she washed clothes for the Malays, the Indian, and the Malay person who she's been washing is a very good man. Give her 5 ringgit per month to wash his clothes. So that's how they sustain their life. So what then is they met? So they met in the lepers chapel. Every day go for mass.
So they are married for 57 years old. 57 years. Of a happily blessed marriage.
He's 82 and she's 84. So when she delivered her baby, immediately the baby has to be taken off them because there was, this is a leprosy center, taken off and stayed with the government nurses for a month. And after a month, the eldest son was sent to the social welfare where he was given up for adoption. But he was fortunate in the sense that the nuns could look after the baby, so he took back the baby and the nuns looked after his eldest son in the Batu Arang convent. So so first the nuns kept for them when they were 1 month until they were about 11, 12 years old. Then the 3 children moved over to Salvation Army and kept by them until they were 16, 17. So he's very happy that all these pretty girls come to visit them. You know, they say like bring outside people coming to see them, because before they came, there were many people who were still fearful of the lepers, you know, so don't come into this area. But now, since, you know, they've been coming for the last 20 years, they feel happy that they have outside friends, you know, outside people visiting them, to come every fortnight to bring good home cooked food for them. It's very hard for them to cook, you know, with their disfigured fingers. The lepers passed away. It's all these girls who will arrange the funeral masses, get the singing, the prayers done, organizing their hospital visit. You know, auntie just came back from her dental appointment. So these girls are like their foster daughters to them, you know, like their extended family to them. So I think it's very beautiful, you know. Yeah, and you know, so uncle is very, despite 80 plus, you know, with that little, he wants to stand up. Yeah.
He kept all the crucifixes and all the holy pictures here from his friends who had passed away, because nobody wants them. So instead of throwing them into the bin, Michael keeps them. Yeah.
Đại gia ngõ trên ngũ cha, ngõ trên ngoài đi bên cây xiên, đi coi đèn tiền, đi tì xiên nhẹ, tì đi trên đi ngõ trên bảo đi, cam điện đi ngõ đi dọn đi ngõ đi bên ngõ chế, để ngõ đi viên, đi ngõ chế cha, chúng ta ngõ ham mấy yêu cầm, đại kiều ngõ trong họ à bên, thọ má đi bắn bị trên trong cha, tôi đi cá dàn đi trong đi vị trăm mi, đi tay dưới so bên vị trăm mi, căn tôi xem mờ má đi vị ngõ trên dưới điên, trên chỉ trên từ, kem ngõ trên sư họ à bên. Kem chẳng yên họ thiền từ xem ngủ kể xem sự kể xem xem có anh ký họ còn nghe sao để rồi kem duy ý đi thay anh nghe kể sự duy sĩ à biển.
Hey Joshua, what are you doing? Feeding the fishes now?
I think it's all bad.
How many fishes do you think we have now? The first batch all died. This is the second batch, probably about 4 or 5.
When was the last time you changed the pedals? The pebbles?
Oh, no, we never changed the pebble.
You've never changed pebbles?
Yeah.
Growing up, my mum she's an ordinary mother. You know, she did all the houseworks, you know, the chores, you know, the cooking, the cleaning, everything, you know. No wonder I got all the algae and all the...
Yeah. I mean, how many years are you talking about? 17, 20 years. Actually, all the algae and fungus meant to be natural food for them. So actually...
I think it's too much.
Which of the fishes you think is you, Joshua? The hungry one. Which one? Tell me which one quickly.
Probably the fattest one, Mom.
Ah, forever hungry. Never stop eating. That's you.
Yep, you raised me well.
So when you go back to New Zealand, make sure you exercise, okay? And get that 6-pack back, okay?
Okay, Mother.
Don't be like your father, forever fat.
I'll try my best.
We have no problem with Jasmine. She is as normal as anybody is. She is cheerful. She is, I think she is, she has got a better health than all of us. I mean, she doesn't let this impairment distract her from what she wants to do.
Even though I'm blind, I could, you know, decorate a house. I can even go and do things that sometimes even surprises me. Like, you know, I can buy furnitures, I can buy vases, lamp, and I can buy clothes. And people say, oh, you know, did your husband pick it up? And I smile, I say, no, you know, and all the houses that I bought, you know, I always choose, you know, and I always choose a house that has a good view, and all the agent will look at me and wondering why should a blind woman want to have, you know, a house with a good view. My name is Jasmine, okay, and I got eyes, but I cannot see. I am blind, okay? I cannot see you, but I can touch you, okay? How many of y'all here?
11.
11? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, good. You all know your numbers. How old are you?
10.
How old are you?
11.
11.
I am 9 years old.
Wow, you are 10, 9, 11 then? 8? 8. 9? Sama?
6, 7.
When I started 4 years ago, this place was nothing like this. You know, we only had fans, less volunteers. So we actually need more volunteers like you, you know, to come and help us.
Yep. Nothing on their, I think I can't see, but I'm sure by the sound, nothing on their face tell me that they are displaced, they are refugees, and they are sad. They are just like any normal, happy children. Yeah. You all like something? Okay, I sing for you all this one in Bahasa. Yeah, gosok gigi. Okay? Then have you heard this one?
Makan roti.
What you all know is makan roti, right? Eat what? Makan means what?
With kali.
No, eat roti. Roti means what?
And these children can't go to normal schools, and they are deprived of a valuable education, you know, a basic education. So that when they get resettled in another country, usually US, New Zealand, some of the countries, Australia, they at least have a bit of a basic education.
Very good. I can feel the empathy, you know, when a person is suffering. And I loved when Mother Teresa says, you know, teach us to see, recognize the face of Jesus in those who are suffering. Hello.
Oh, so very punctual, my goodness.
Yes,
You're
good
most
afternoon,
welcome.
sister.
And a
How
Happy
are you?
New Year also.
Yeah,
God bless. Happy New Year,
Happy
James.
New Year.
This is where it used to be the
Mango tree
is gone.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, we cried when that went, my goodness.
Well, for your age sister, we have trouble catching up with you. You're going too fast for us.
I was in my 18, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When I joined. So I felt God calling me to become a missionary. And, you know, it took some time to struggle, you know, because I loved life and, you know, I would have enjoyed university life, but I felt if I didn't jump in then I'd never take the plunge. The plunge, yes. And I'll be having my, what is it? Platinum.
Wow.
Platinum. I had my diamond. I'll be having my platinum jubilee next year.
Wow.
Oh, this year. But I'm kind of keeping it quiet. I don't want too much tra-la-la, because I'm also going to turn 90.
Yes. I like the story where you were, you know, saying a prayer.
And when we get out of bed in the morning, in the older time, you kiss the floor, and I screamed because the snake was under the bed. But
There you
bless
go.
you. My goodness. How...
Don't worry.
I think it's not working, the last one. Hello? Yes, but I'm in the middle of something. Is that me cool? Get me? Well, yeah, I'll call you back later. We're in the middle. I'm being filmed at the moment. I'm a film star.
Sister Enda.
Yes. Wait, I'll give this to Sister Angeline. 1 minute. Thank. Yeah. Hello. Wait. What's that?
I'm going now.
Oh, you are. Oh, bye.
I see you.
See you
I
around.
see you when I see you.
Pop in. I've come from a little village at the foot of the Galtee Mountains in County Limerick.
Yeah.
But if I just move down the road a half a mile, it's Tipperary.
Oh,
So
that's
it
why you
depends
always
on-
sing.
Come on, James. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart's right there. Now, my father was a staunch Tipperary man. God help him. He had 7 children. We did the foundation of the secondary school where you came. And what year did you come, Jasmine?
I came in 79.
So, you know, when I called you last night and you were reminding me, Jasmine,
Yes.
of the school days, that you actually didn't come to my catechism class.
Yes.
And it made me feel we never realise what we do or what we say, what effect it will have. And it gives me, in my old age now, great satisfaction that just something that happened in my class has affected your life so much. And you have a group of girls there, you know, willing to listen and don't know really what life is going to bring to them. And they will have to make big decisions and maybe listening, you know, not too much preachy from me, showing them this movie that somehow it will touch their hearts and it'll stay with them later on when they have got to make a decision, perhaps. But the seeds sown will blossom and will come back to help them in a moments of difficult decision.
I didn't even attend the catechism class. I heard about the video on the silent scream, you know.
Yes.
So when I was at the crossroad in the gynecologist, room, when he said whatever decision you're going to make is a sad and bad one.
Yes.
That image came.
Yes.
It came.
Bye. God bless you. Selamat jalan. Lovely having you. Let's do it again. Bye.
Selamat jalan.
Selamat jalan.
So the year that my mum lost her sight was the year my sister was born. So my sister is a year younger than me, so I was 1 at that stage.
I think my mother was probably the first person to teach me what unconditional love meant. So before I was even born, to be able to sacrifice your sight, and it's a lifelong sacrifice. It's not a momentary thing that you give up. Your whole eyesight you lose for life. To give that up for someone that you've never even met, or something that's so small and I wasn't even tangible yet. The fact that she was able to give up her sight for me, that showed me what true unconditional love meant. So I knew from the beginning that I was loved right from the start.
Every pregnancy, the eyes deteriorate, see. The vision is just like a circle. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller until a dot pin-sized light, you know. And then after that, she couldn't see.
You have my love for cooking.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and we learn things fast.
Yeah.
But you're untidy like your dad.
Definitely.
Papa wanted you to be born on his birthday, which is 4 days earlier.
But
So
I'm
we
always
actually-
late. I'm always late.
So we actually went to the hospital. It was false alarm. So when you were born,
had lots of hair. I still
lots
have lots
of hair, right?
Yeah.
But that's because I drank a lot of coconut water.
Interesting.
Good for your daughter. That's what they
No, I
say.
think you're just craving coconut water. Yeah.
And then, but I cannot see you. I mean, I can't see your eyes, your nose.
We didn't know because one day our Indonesian maid told me about, Siu Hun asked her, oh, how does my daughter's face look like? Is it like me or like my husband, So the maid described to her, So then we knew that after the third pregnancy, she lost total vision.
She did have the joy of looking at Julie.
Yeah, once. And that once glance is good enough to be a mother for life. I told you one day, isn't it? I saw your whole face, your small little face through the car mirror, the driver's, car mirror. So your whole face was captured in that little vision I had left. And you were really, really Chinese. Really Chinese baby.
Me and my younger sister, I guess, yeah, we're like cat and mouse, and we always argue, we always fight, but at the end of the day, I can't imagine my life without her. And I have my mom to thank for that.
You are truly an angel dropped down from heaven given to me. Mother Teresa said, the holiest thing to do every day is doing God's will. Okay? Love you. We come to many crossroads in our lives. And sometimes when you come to this crossroad and God tells you to take the more difficult path, and there's a reason why He wants you to take the more difficult path. Before I was blind, I was very egoistic, vain. I think the world of myself, and because I was beautiful and I think I'm intelligent, I can conquer the whole world. And when I became blind, it's like all my dreams are broken. And you have to fall back of you have nothing, and that humbles me a lot,
I see firsthand, every day what the potential, of someone who is visually impaired, what they can achieve if they put their mind to it. And I see it every day in my mom, If you can come to terms with your disabilities, there's no stopping you.
So, although Jasmine is blind, it never really feels like it, In fact, it's the other way. She's always been the one that's sighted. I'm the one that's blind.
In so many ways, she can see so many things that people with sight can't. She can always see the light in the darkness.
Before I lose my eyesight, when my eyesight was blurring, I keep on looking at, there was an image of Jesus in my mother's office, and that was the last image I tried not to lose, but I was slowly losing it. But I hope when one day I close my eyes, that's the first image I see, and I see him in person, That is my greatest joy and my goal in life. when you become blind, it is the big I that dies, you know. I decrease and He increases in me. And that's the beauty of it, you know. When you look back at your life, it's no longer that you live, but He lives in you. If I have to relive my life again, I would still continue to be a blind woman. I felt that that's the calling in my life, to be a blind mother and to be a blind wife. And being blind doesn't mean, it could mean weak in the world, but it means strength in God's love.